This was like who played the doctor on The Sopranos when what's his name went to prison at the end
on The Sopranos.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
At the end, the guy from the other family, Johnny Syatt, goes to prison, and there's a doctor there. He was also he befriends a doctor with glasses. That's who they paid $1 million to direct. Wow. He was also in Eyes Wide Shut. He's the one that fucks
Sidney Lumet.
Sidney
Pollock.
Sidney Pollock.
Died of pancreatic cancer.
Sidney Pollock was directing that thing.
Director.
When CBS pays Sidney Pollock to $1 million to direct, that show's going.
Yeah.
That show's going.
That's what you think.
So when I shot the pilot, I went from 10 pages of verbiage to 1 because I didn't know how to act. So every day I went in, I lost a page. And then towards the end, they just had me like grunting and like making noises. At the end, people really never talked to me. They were like, it's going to all work out.
You weren't ready. You weren't ready.
No, I wasn't fucking ready. I never acted in my life before. Yeah. They threw me on a CBS pilot. So I fucking, like on the way home, they're like, it's going to be okay. When you get back, then the executive producer said, listen, get an acting class immediately.
Yeah.
I'll visit with you. And I'm like, this sucks. But I'm like, man, I can't wait to buy that house. And in fact, I went all the way to Miami. That's after they towed my car. And I went all the way to Miami for 3 weeks because I didn't want to even think about it. I did not want to think about it. I was going to get the call that the pilot got picked up. I was going to call the drug dealer, get a fucking kilo of coke, and just go to my room and snort it, and then start shooting the fucking episode. Because they were going to give me $18,000 a fucking week for. And those days, you picked up, I think it was 16 episodes right off the bat.
Yeah, that's right. Which, by the way, is crazy.
It's fucking crazy.
You're set.
I was going to get $18,500 for 16 episodes from September to December, and then come back and shoot another 16 or whatever the fuck it was, 17 episodes at $18,000. So guys, yes, when I got the call, I was in Miami, and Jeff Gatlin called me, my ex-manager, and he goes, hey, I don't know how to tell you this. And I'm like, what, I didn't get the Travolta project? Because I was going to get a Travolta movie.
He said it didn't get picked up.
He goes, the pilot didn't get picked up. And I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? What the fuck? I was like losing it.
It's Sidney Pollock.
And he called me when I got back to LA. He's like, it's going to be a mid-season replacement.
Oh.
So I was like, okay. So I called the director, the executive producer. He's like, yeah, we're going to get together in a couple of weeks and start writing scripts again because we'll probably be on TV by December or January.
Nope.
And it was fucking,
nope.
It was.
That's the story of my life.
But that's 18,000. And then do you remember when I was going to get do you remember the beginning of reality? Rogan got Fear Factor on NBC.
I remember that.
I was in New York with him. I'll never forget this. I'm in New York on Times Square. He goes into a fucking place to buy a samurai. Like there was a 6-foot samurai standing on Broadway with blue eyes and
He's
shit,
so crazy.
with a fucking sword.
He's so fucking weird.
And he's like, I'm going in there to pay for this statue. Yeah. And I go, I don't want to go in there. I don't like him. When he spent money in those days, I got
he always had the confidence.
I got $2
so much
in
money.
my pocket, and he's buying a statue for $1,200. I'm like, forget the statue. I'll go in front of your house and pose like that. Just give me $200 right now for the day, something. I'll never forget. He was in the thing, and I was standing on Broadway, and above me was that rotating thing.
Yeah.
And it said Fear Factor, America's hottest show, and he was walking out talking to me on Broadway, and that didn't matter.
No, it didn't matter to him.
10 people running to me going, are you Big Pussy from The Sopranos? We want to get a picture. I'm like, that's Joe Rogan from Fear Factor. Like, fuck him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, that's how crazy
that's
that was.
how it goes. And with Joe, I remember him getting famous. And I remember when we were in New York City, and a cop goes, Joe Rogan, because he was doing Fear Factor. And I went, my boys, and another guy goes, oh shit, Joe Rogan. And I went, bro, you're famous. And then he bought that house up in fucking Bell Canyon. And I'd known him, I mean, he'd been a guest on Mad TV, I'd been a guest, and we're sitting there, and he said something so great. He was standing there like this, and I'm looking at his fucking house with the marble floors and the fucking view, and I go, bro, you're rich and famous. I go, what's it like? And he goes, it feels exactly the same, except for my walls are a little more farther apart, so my dogs aren't as close to me. I went, what a great fucking, I'm like, he understood the illusion that fame and money is. Like, it's good to have, but at the end of the day, he goes, yeah, my walls are farther apart, And that just means that there's more space, so the things I love have to get to me. It takes them longer to get. He was thinking mathematically and geometrically. I'm like, this motherfucker thinks on a different level. You know, but he's kind of right. I remember the day he called me when he said, I'm quitting acting. 35 years old. I go, what? What do you mean quitting acting? Back then, it's like, you can't make a living doing stand-up. I mean, you can make some money, but not, you know. He goes, nah, I'm quitting. I don't want to fucking act. I don't want some guy telling me what to do. I don't fucking like it. I don't like the people. Everybody's got a hole they can't fill, so fuck it. I'm like, I remember just being like, all right, you're fucking crazy.
And he stuck to it, and it worked for him.
Things are going okay for the kid.
And you know what? Yeah. And you know what's crazy, man? That's the problem. And it was a problem for me. The only problem I really had was, listen, you love doing stand-up, but you also know sometimes for people, stand-up is a means to an end. It was not that for me. I saw a lot of people in L.A. move to L.A., get on a TV show. You never saw them on the stage ever again.
No.
You never saw them.
No.
It kind of bothered me. It didn't. It kind of bothered me. Like I remember.
You still see it, though. A lot of people are getting into everybody's a stand-up now.
Well, now it's going the other way around. Now it's going back to being a stand-up because, listen, a stand-up comic today, I mean, I'm surprised we don't have baseball cards.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised.
But Joey, like, here's what I say about stand-up. There are very few people who you can take and throw in, like everybody says they're a comic, but nowadays you can curate your own audience. So before you even get up there, everybody loves you. It's like performing for your own family in a living room when you're a kid. But there are very few comics, and you're one of these guys. I can put you up in front of any fucking audience anywhere in the world. They don't know you. They've never heard of you. And I give you 45 minutes up there, and you got them laughing for the whole 45 minutes. That's a rare fraternity. That is a small group of people. Because that takes real skill, and it takes a long fucking time. And I think that's lost on it. And if we were bankers, the headliners, all of us who are headliners, if we were bankers, we'd be very, very wealthy. Because there's probably, how many people can do that, honestly, who can put out hour after hour that does really well, where we've been making people laugh for 25 years on that level? Not a lot of people, bro. I always say, you come to my friend's show, come to my show, come to my friend's show, you'll laugh harder by far than any movie you've ever seen in your life. Put it up there, Hangover, whatever. Come to a Joey Diaz show. Come to a fucking Joe Rogan show. Come to a Bill Burr show. Come to a Sebastian Maniscalco show. Come to a Steve Byrne show, whoever the fuck it is. Sam Tripoli. You'll laugh harder for 1 hour than you'll ever laugh at a movie.